Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy TNL, and today we are talking about the power of saying no and why people hate saying that. You ever say yes to something, a favor, a hangout, any situation, and then 5 minutes later you're sitting there thinking, why did I agree to do this? You didn't want to go, you didn't have the energy to, but something in you couldn't say no. That's most people. We spend half our lives saying yes out of fear. The fear of missing out, the fear of disappointing people, the fear of conflict. But every time you say yes, when you really mean no, you just build a life that doesn't belong to you. And you hand over your time, your energy, your peace, piece by piece, literally, until there's nothing left that actually feels like you. And the worst part about it, you start to forget who you even are without people's expectations controlling you. But let me explain why no feels so wrong, saying no. We were trained since childhood to be agreeable. Don't argue, be nice, do it for them. We were taught that saying no makes you selfish, that it hurts people, that being liked is safer than being honest. And so now, as adults, we associate no with guilt. We feel bad for putting ourselves first, and we confuse kindness with compliance. There's a difference, though. There's a difference between being kind and being a people pleaser. One comes from strength, and the other comes from fear. And what most people never realize is that when you say yes out of guilt, you're not being generous, you're being dishonest, because you're pretending to care about something when deep down you just simply don't. That's why no feels so wrong, because you were never taught that it's supposed to feel uncomfortable at first. You know, the price of saying yes, there's always a price of saying yes. When you say yes to everyone, you slowly say no to yourself. No to your peace, no to your rest, no to your goals. Just think about it. How many times have you helped somebody later and then felt resentful? How many times have you helped someone and then later felt resentful? How many times have you said yes and deep down you felt used? That's not generosity. It's kind of like a self-abandonment. When people who can't say no always end up burnt out, bitter, or confused. And not in all cases, but a lot of the time. Because you think being liked is the goal. But being respected is actually what gives you the peace. And nobody respects someone who never respects their own boundaries. You might actually think saying yes keeps the peace, but it actually destroys it, because now you're living with a silent frustration, doing things that you never wanted to do in the first place. So how do people learn to use you? How does this happen? Let's be real. People notice who they can get away with things around. If you're the person who never says no, people will start to expect it from you. And not because they're evil, it's just because it's how humans are wired. They can rely upon you. They follow the path of least resistance. Who's going to argue with me less to get what I want out of this situation? Who's going to put up less of a fit? And if you keep making yourself that easy path, you'll get stepped on without anyone even realizing it. Not even yourself. You teach people how to treat you. You gotta make sure you know. Sure, no problem when you didn't want to. It's okay when it really wasn't. I don't mind when you did mind. These are all the tiny lessons teaching people that your boundaries simply don't exist. So when you finally do say no, they could get a little bit angry because you changed the rules of a game that they were benefiting from. But that's not your problem. That's just the price of growth. And trust me, it's worth paying. What no really means. What does saying no really mean? No doesn't mean you're rejecting someone. It means you're respecting yourself. You're saying, I know my limits. I know my priorities. I'm not spreading myself thin for your comfort. And that's something that people secretly admire, because deep down, everyone wants to be that person, the one who values their peace more than approval. Saying no, it builds self-trust, and you start realizing, I can protect my energy. I don't have to do everything. I don't owe everyone access to me. That's the mindset that separates the calm people from the chaotic ones. You stop needing to explain yourself. You stop needing to apologizing for existing. You start choosing where your energy goes, and that's power that most people never really experience. So how do you actually start saying no? You got to start small. You don't really need to, make it a service announcement to the world. Just start doing it quietly. When someone asks you for something, and your body instantly, locks up, that's your sign. That's your intuition to just be like, don't do this. Just don't do this. If it's taking your peace of mind away from you, just don't do it. Instead of using your fake yes, just try, hey, I can't right now, but I appreciate you for asking, or like, no, I don't think that's for me. Or like, I need some time to think about that. I'm not gonna lie. That's it. You don't gotta give them a paragraph. You don't owe guilt. People who truly respect you will understand. The ones who get mad are the ones who are benefiting from the lack of your boundaries. And once they fall away, your circle will probably get smaller, but it gets real. You'll start to notice that life starts to feel a little bit lighter, a little bit quieter, more aligned with your goals. And that's what happens when you stop trying to say yes to chaos overall. So imagine the you that mastered saying no. It's a year from now. You've learned how to say no. You wake up with the time that actually belongs to you. Your phone isn't full of people asking you to do favors, pointless favors anymore. Your peace is protected because you finally learned how to value it. Your relationships are way more healthy because you only said yes when you mean it. No fake smiles, no fake enthusiasm, no silent resentment. You're just showing up fully because you're no longer spread it thin. Your energy hits different. People will notice that. You look way calmer, you sound way clearer, you walk way lighter because you're living on your own terms, and the future that starts with one word, no, that'll guide you. But most people can't do this. And the truth is, most people can't say no because they're scared of loss. The loss of approval, the loss of attention, the loss of connection. But the crazy thing is, you don't lose anything real by saying no. You only lose the illusions, the fake friends, the one-sided relationships, the shallow opportunities. What you gain out of it is authenticity. And once you taste that, you'll never go back to people pleasing again. You'll realize the ones who left when you started saying no, they were never really for you and never really with you. They were just with your compliance, and that realization will hurt you, but it'll also set you free. The final truth is, saying no necessarily isn't selfish, but it's sacred. It's saying, I deserve to rest. I deserve to have peace. I deserve to not feel guilty for wanting my space. You can't create a strong life if you can't protect your time. You can't build anything real if you keep giving pieces of yourself away to everyone who asks. So you just have to stop over explaining things. Stop apologizing. Stop feeling guilty for wanting peace in a world that glorifies chaos repeatedly. Because every no you give to the wrong thing creates space for the right thing to finally reach you. So from now on, say no with your chest, say no with confidence, and say no with love. And remember, you're not being rude. You're just finally respecting yourself. But thank you for watching. This is TNL. Like, subscribe, and you can say no if you don't want to do either of those things. You have a choice. But yeah, thanks for watching.